Time when testing in F1 happened almost all the time. If cars weren't running at Grand Prix weekends, they were in Jerez or Imola or Portimao racking up thousands of miles. Damon Hill said he never drove more miles in a year than when he was test driver for Williams. Then F1 changed as the tobacco money disappeared and team budgets shrank. The focus switched from speed and excess to efficiency and entertainment. Testing, however, much it might delight the purist, is not much of a spectator sport since the arrival of new owners Liberty Media. The opportunity to run extra mileage in pre-season has been gradually reduced. In 2020, the team flew to Barcelona for 2 3-day blocks of testing, reducing the time sprint testing from 8-day-long sessions to 6 in 2021, with team budgets squeezed even more severely by the coronavirus pandemic. There will be just 3 days on track action for teams to thrash out problems before the first race. Not all teams will be glad of the lack of opportunity, but one thing they win on is the location. The track of Barcelona is a fine layout for testing, with 2 long straights and a technical final section that the low speed capability of cars, but in February and March the weather has not always been ideal. Snow has even delayed running in Catalonia, and doing laps in temperatures that F1 almost never races in, anything below 15 degrees that is not seen as useful by teams. The weather in the desert state of Bahrain is unlikely to be anything like so troubling cold, so ahead of testing I've picked out 3 key talking points to get stuck into. The first one is the return of Fernando Alonso. The F1 world was sent into shock after Alpine reported that their returning 2-time world champion had been rushed to hospital after a cycling crash. The Spaniard collided with a car while out training in Switzerland and underwent surgery on a broken jaw before being discharged to recover at home. A period of surveillance that also saw Alpine rule him out of the launch. As such, all eyes will be on Alonso in Bahrain as he prepares for his 18th campaign as F1 driver. Whether he physically is up to it after a serious crash just a few weeks back will be his real test. 2 is Ferrari. In recent years, Bahrain has been a track where Ferrari can challenge. Charles Leclerc would have seized his first Grand Prix victory there had his engine not lost power in the closing stages of the 29 race, and a red car would have won the previous 2 events there. They were significantly less dominant there during a doubleheader, earning just a solitary point from the 2 races, but with Carlos Sainz on board and a winter of improvements, it will be good yardstick to see how Ferrari are doing and whether they can challenge at the top end of the midfield this year. Finally, cars following each other. Naturally, there is no actual racing during testing, but one question the drivers get asked every year: what's it like following others? The subtext to this question is the ability to follow cars with ease and without tyres overheating or loss of downforce is central to overtaking. If you cannot stay within a second of the car in through corners, you cannot get close enough to get a pass. There has been some minor and major economic changes to the cars this year ahead of a major shift before the 2022 season, and they are aimed at making the cars a little easier to follow. The proof will be in the pudding as to whether those changes have worked, of course. My final thoughts on testing would be, it will definitely be interesting to see all of the new cars, all the new driver pairings linking together, and I think Bahrain will be a better track for it as well, as I previously mentioned. It should be really interesting, but of course you just can't read too much into testing, especially this late into a regulation period where all the cars are pretty reliable. There'll be lots of sandbagging, so it'll be hard to tell, but it'll still be worthwhile, and I'll be reviewing it on the F1 Journal next week, so make sure you're along to that. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and comments down below, and follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, peace!